Welcome to the strong. In Australia's wetlands, danger lurks beneath every ripple. From tangled mangroves to dark marshes, these waters are ruled by stealthy killers and cunning tricksters. This is the underworld of swamp assassins, where survival means outsmarting the deadliest. The apex predator, saltwater crocodile. In the tropical wilds of northern Australia, where mangrove forests meet sun-scorched floodplains, lurks a predator older than the dinosaurs. A living fossil, a monster shaped by 200 million years of evolution. This is the saltwater crocodile, Crocodilus perilous, the largest and most formidable reptile on the planet. Locals call them salties, but the nickname belies their lethal potential. Adult males can reach over 23 feet in length and weigh more than 2,200 pounds, though most average closer to 16 to 20 feet. With a body designed for power, stealth, and ambush, the salty is the apex predator of Australia's wetlands, estuaries, and tidal rivers. These beasts are true amphibious hunters, equally at home in freshwater billabongs and open sea. In fact, salties have been recorded hundreds of miles offshore, using ocean currents to island hop between coastlines in Southeast Asia and Northern Australia. Their ability to tolerate saltwater, thanks to specialized salt glands on their tongues, gives them an enormous territorial range, unlike any other crocodilian species. Despite being cold-blooded, saltwater crocodiles are far from sluggish. To function optimally, they must maintain an internal body temperature of around 89.6 degrees C, 32 degrees C. In the early morning, they haul themselves onto mudbanks to bask, lying motionless with their balls gaping wide. This isn't a threat display, it's evaporative cooling. Their scaly hide doesn't sweat, so they rely on wind and open mouths to regulate heat. Beneath their armored exterior lies a complex nervous system and surprisingly high intelligence. Salties are capable of learning, remembering, and even planning. Juveniles, barely the length of a forearm, begin training by stalking small prey like insects, frogs, or mudskippers, fish that can crawl on land. These early lessons sharpen timing and stealth, laying the groundwork for more advanced ambush tactics later in life. By adulthood, salties become solitary and territorial, especially males. One dominant male may claim several kilometers of riverbank, often accompanied by a harem of smaller females. While rarely aggressive to each other unless provoked, violent clashes between rival males can erupt, sometimes resulting in severe injuries or death. As the sun climbs higher, a dominant male and one of his females slip silently into the murky water. They're not hunting together out of affection. It's instinct, survival, and efficiency. The male's eyes scan the riverbank with reptilian calm. A water buffalo, unaware of the danger, approaches to drink. This massive herbivore, weighing more than a ton, seems untouchable until it steps 1 foot too far. The croc strikes with astonishing speed, using its muscular tail like a springboard. The jaws close around the buffalo's face with a bite force exceeding 3,700 psi, stronger than that of a great white shark. There is no struggle for long. With the victim secured, the croc performs the death roll, spinning with brutal torque to tear flesh and snap bones. The water churns with mud and blood. Moments later, all is still. The buffalo is dragged into deeper water, where it will be stashed beneath submerged roots or rocks. Salties are opportunistic feeders, and a single large kill can sustain them for weeks or even months. When prey is scarce, they can go into a state of torpor, dramatically slowing their metabolism to survive long periods without food. But crocodiles aren't just brutes. They are masters of patience and restraint. Some have been observed stalking a particular waterhole for days, even weeks, learning the patterns of prey, identifying weak points in routine, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. They are more than animals. They are strategists. And though they rarely leave witnesses, humans are not exempt from their menu. Saltwater crocodiles are one of the few animals that actively hunt people. In northern Australia and parts of Southeast Asia, attacks on fishermen, swimmers, and even tourists are tragically regular occurrences. Signs warning of crocodile-infested waters are not decorative, they are life-saving advice. Still, these apex predators are not villains. They are essential to the ecosystem. As keystone species, salties help regulate populations of prey animals, maintain wetland health, and contribute to the ecological balance of coastal systems. Ancient, feared, and often misunderstood, they are among the last living links to Earth's distant past. In the shadowy waterways of the north, the saltwater crocodile rules without challenge, not through chaos, but through cold, calculated dominance. Reminding us that in the wild, power is never given, it is taken. Precision hunter. The archerfish. In the dense, humid mangrove forests of Southeast Asia and northern Australia, where roots twist like serpents and the water glimmers beneath the shadows of overhanging branches, lives a predator unlike any other. Small in size, but unmatched in skill, this is the archerfish, nature's very own sniper of the shallows. At first glance, the archerfish seems ordinary. With its flattened oi, silver scales, and banded flanks, it blends easily into its dappled surroundings. Most would overlook it. But what this humble fish lacks in brute strength, it makes up for with a superpower few animals on Earth possess: ballistic precision. Unlike most fish, the archerfish doesn't rely on stealth beneath the surface or speed in open water. Instead, it sets its sights on a different battlefield, the air above. Suspended on twigs, leaves, and branches, bises are insects, unaware of the silent eyes watching from below. These creatures are safe from OCB for most aquatic predators, but not this one. The archerfish has evolved a specialized mouth and grooved palate that allow it to form a tight, pressurized channel between its tongue and the roof of its mouth. With a swift contraction of its gill covers, it propels a powerful jet of water that arcs through the air with pinpoint accuracy, like a living water pistol. But hitting a moving target above the waterline isn't easy. To strike with precision, the archerfish must overcome several complex challenges. First, light refraction. As light travels from air to water, it bends. This makes anything above the surface appear slightly displaced from its true position. To us, this might seem trivial. But for a hunter, it's everything. The archerfish has learned to compensate for this distortion automatically, using a kind of built-in trigonometry, calculating where the prey truly is, not where it seems to be. Second, distance and power. The force of the water jet must be carefully calibrated. Too weak, and the insect won't fall. Too strong, and the water will disperse mid-air. The archerfish adjusts the volume, velocity, and angle of the shot with stunning control, often hitting targets up to 2 meters, 6 feet, above the surface. Third, gravity and timing. As soon as the shot connects, the insect begins to fall. But not straight down. The fish must anticipate where the body will land and be ready to strike again. The archerfish does all this in a fraction of a second, then lunges forward to snatch its prize the instant it hits the water. Today, the target is a spider resting on a branch above the shallows. The fish floats silently below, eyes trained upward, its body still, its aim steady. Flick. The first jet misses. The spider twitches. Flick. A second shot comes closer, but not quite. Then, strike. The spider is dislodged, tumbling into the water. Before it has a chance to recover, the archerfish darts forward and gulps it down in one swift motion. Another clean, calculated kill. What makes this feat even more remarkable is that the skill isn't hardwired at birth. Young archerfish must practice, missing dozens, even hundreds of times before mastering the technique. They learn through trial, error, and observation, often watching older individuals to understand angles, target behavior, and timing. This rare behavior, social learning, is exceptional in fish and puts the archerfish in a small, elite group of non-mammalian animals capable of adaptive problem-solving. Though it primarily feeds on insects and small terrestrial invertebrates, the archerfish is an opportunistic omnivore, supplementing its diet with aquatic larvae, algae, and detritus when necessary. In the harsh tidal environments of mangroves and estuaries, where resources are seasonal and unpredictable, this dietary flexibility gives the archerfish an edge. Yet for all its evolutionary brilliance, the archerfish remains largely unknown to the broader world. It lives a quiet life, beneath overhangs and between roots, far from the attention commanded by sharks, dolphins, or crocodiles. But in its silent hunt, marked by precision, intelligence, and adaptability, it reminds us that power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it aims. In the world of water and wind, where reflections deceive and distances lie, the archerfish thrives. Not by force, but by focus. A true marksman of the mangroves. A living testament to nature's genius. The electric tracker. Platypus. In the shadowy stillness of Australia's freshwater rivers and quiet estuaries, where reeds ripple gently and the current moves in hushed silence, lives one of the most extraordinary and enigmatic hunters on the planet, the platypus. Neither fully mammal, reptile, nor bird, the platypus seems like a creature assembled from spare parts. A duck-like bill, webbed feet, the fur of an otterson, and the tail of a beaver, it defies easy classification. When first presented with a specimen, 18th century European scientists believed it was a hoax, a taxidermist's joke sewn together from multiple animals. But far from being a biological prank, the platypus is a masterclass in evolutionary adaptation, uniquely built for stealthy underwater hunting. Most predators rely on sight, sound, or scent. Not the platypus. As it dives beneath the surface, it closes its eyes, ears, and nostrils, effectively blind, deaf, and anosmic underwater. In this sensory vacuum, it uses its bill, an extraordinary sensory organ lined with over 40,000 electroreceptors, to detect the faint electric fields produced by the muscle contractions of its prey. Every twitch, every wriggle sends out signals. To the platypus, it's as if the riverbed glows with pulses of life. With graceful strokes of its webbed forefeet and a low sweeping motion of its flat tail, the platypus glides across the bottom, sweeping its bill side to side like a living metal detector. It searches for small crustaceans, insect larvae, worms, and even freshwater shrimp. The prey is quickly scooped into pouches in its cheeks, then brought to the surface to be crunched and swallowed. Over the course of a single night, it may consume up to 20% of its own body weight, burning through calories to maintain energy in its cool, aquatic environment. Any excess is stored in its tail, which swells with fat, like a biological battery for leaner times. But the platypus isn't just a quirky insectivore. It's also one of the few venomous mammals on Earth. Males are equipped with sharp, venomous spurs on their hind legs, which become particularly dangerous during the breeding season when testosterone surges and competition is fierce. The venom isn't lethal to humans, but it causes excruciating pain, enough to incapacitate rivals and possibly even deter predators. Today, a rival male dares to enter another's territory, drawn by the scent of a nearby female. In the murky depths, they meet. The confrontation is swift and violent. The two males twist and grapple, lashing with their hind legs, trying to drive venom-tipped spurs into flesh. One is faster, one is stronger. Within moments, it's over. The loser retreats, wounded and disoriented. The victor, bruised but unscathed, returns to his foraging. Heart pounding and muscles tense. In the wild, dominance can shift in seconds. Even in victory, there is no rest, only vigilance. Despite their prowess, platypuses are shy, solitary creatures, rarely seen by humans. They are mostly nocturnal, vanishing at the first sign of disturbance, slipping beneath the surface without a ripple. Their burrows, dug into muddy banks, are hidden by dense vegetation and impossible to find unless you know exactly where to look. And yet, for all their secrecy, these animals are vital to their ecosystems. As benthic foragers, they stir the sediments, cycle nutrients, and help regulate populations of aquatic invertebrates. They are living fossils, one of only 5 existing species of monotremes, egg-laying mammals that date back more than 100 million years. The platypus is a creature of paradoxes, ancient yet agile, primitive yet sophisticated, elusive yet essential. In the silent rivers of the Australian bush, it moves like a whisper through time, an electric tracker, feeling the invisible and thriving where others cannot. Ambush in the shadows. Freshwater crab versus tiger leech. In a quiet corner of a tropical rainforest, far from the noise of the canopy above, a shallow creek meanders through moss-covered stones and fallen branches. Light filters through the dense foliage in fractured beams, dancing across the rippling surface. To the human eye, it's a place of peace. But to those who call these waters home, it's a place of survival, a theater of ambush and attrition, where the line between hunter and hunted is ever shifting. Here, beneath a bed of leaf litter and silt, lives a freshwater crab, a formidable resident of the stream. Encased in a rugged exoskeleton, it moves with calculated precision, sideways across the rocks. Its claws are thick, capable of crushing mollusks or snatching up small insects in a split second. It is well defended, cautious by nature, and largely fearless. Few creatures in this stream dare challenge it head-on. But danger doesn't always come with a warning. Concealed beneath a wet curtain of algae and mud is a tiger leech, sleek, striped with chestnut and black bands, its body flattened like a ribbon. It waits motionless, perfectly still, its body pressed low to the stone. This leech is no mindless bloodsucker. It's a specialist predator, evolved for stealth and precision. Unlike its terrestrial cousins, the tiger leech is an aquatic assassin adapted to cling, wait, and strike in silence. And it is not alone. Several more leeches lurk in the shadows, drawn by faint chemical signals in the water. They are not coordinated like a pack, but their goals are the same. Time passes. The crab stirs, shifting toward a promising patch of detritus. Perhaps a decaying leaf hiding a morsel. In doing so, it exposes the soft joints where its armored plates meet. These tiny gaps, invisible to most, are what the leech has been waiting for. Now, the tiger leech moves, its body undulating in slow, wave-like motions. It advances from below, using suctioned segments to anchor to stone and crab alike. Then, in one swift motion, it finds purchase, latching onto a crevice behind the crab's third leg. A hidden needle-like proboscis emerges and pierces the soft tissue. The crab jerks, but not in panic. The leech's saliva contains anesthetic compounds, numbing the site of entry before the crab even realizes it's under attack. It begins to feed. Anticoagulants keep the blood flowing, while enzymes break down tissue barriers. The leech's body begins to swell, pulsing rhythmically with each draw of hemolymph and fluid. The crab's defenses, its mighty claws, its plated armor, are useless against an enemy that doesn't fight, doesn't rush, and doesn't leggy. More leeches arrive. Some settle beside the first, others crawl up the crab's underside seeking new entry points. The crab grows restless, waving its claws, stumbling backward, scraping itself against rocks. It tries to flee, but each movement grows more labored. Its strength is fading. Unlike traditional predators that kill quickly, leeches feed over time, draining energy slowly, inexorably, until their host can no longer resist. It is a slow-motion execution, a contest of endurance the crab cannot win. Solar-powered Stalker. Mertens water monitor. Along the steamy banks of Australia's tropical waterways, where the sun beats down relentlessly and the water shimmers with hidden life, a shadow stirs among the reeds. Lean, scaled, and coiled with potential energy, the Mertens water monitor emerges. A solar-powered stalker, engineered for both stealth and power. With each step, it tastes the air, flicking its long, forked tongue to collect microscopic scent particles, which are then pressed against a specialized organ in the roof of its mouth. The Jacobson's organ, giving it an almost supernatural sense of smell. To the monitor, the invisible becomes visible. It doesn't just know that something is near. It knows what it is, how big it is, and in which direction it fled. Basking in the morning light, the monitor warms its cold-blooded body. Sunlight isn't just comfort, it's fuel. Like all reptiles, its metabolism is powered by external heat. As its body temperature rises, so does its strength, speed, and hunting efficiency. Once fully charged, the chase begins. The Mertens water monitor, Varanus mertensi, is a voracious generalist, feeding on nearly anything it can catch or scavenge. Insects, fish, crustaceans, amphibians, small mammals, reptiles, birds, and their eggs are all fair game. With webbed toes and a flattened tail, it's perfectly suited for aquatic ambushes, gliding through water like a scaled torpedo. But it's just as agile on land, sprinting across rocks and sand with surprising speed on its muscular limbs. Today, the monitor hunts near a drying billabong. A freshwater turtle hatchling, just emerged from its nest, scrambles awkwardly toward the water. But the monitor is already in motion. Its movement is fast, but controlled, closing the distance in seconds. With one swift lunge, it snatches the hatchling in its jaws, crushing the soft shell in a single bite. The monitor is not cruel. It's efficient. In the wild, survival is math. Energy in, energy out. The turtle is nourishment, and the predator wastes nothing. But the Mertens water monitor is more than a predator. It is also a vigilant defender, especially during the mating season. As hormones rise, males become territorial and aggressive, engaging in ritualized combat. Two rivals may rear up on their hind legs, locking claws in a dramatic wrestling match, each trying to throw the other off balance. These contests, though rarely deadly, are fierce, honor-bound battles over mates and territory. Females, after mating, will dig nests in moist soil or sand, depositing their eggs deep enough to shield them from predators and sun. The hatchlings, when they finally emerge, are miniature versions of their parents, fully armed, fully alert, and already independent. As a species, the Mertens water monitor plays a crucial role in the wetland ecosystem. It helps regulate populations of insects, fish, and small vertebrates. It is both predator and scavenger, helping clean the environment while maintaining balance. But like many native species, it now faces new threats: habitat destruction, introduced predators, and invasive species, like the toxic cane toad, which can kill the monitor if ingested. Still, for now, this reptilian relic continues its reign. Alert, patient, and fueled by the sun, the Mertens water monitor is a creature of duality: hunter and guardian, swimmer and sprinter, silent observer, and explosive striker. In a world where adaptation means survival, it thrives at the border between water and land, shadow and sunlight. And when the shadows move, it may already be too late. Deadly glider. White-bellied sea eagle. High above the shimmering wetlands of northern Australia, where water meets sky, and every ripple tells a story, a lone silhouette drifts effortlessly across the clouds. Broad wings outstretched, unmoving, it rides the thermals with quiet dominance. This is the white-bellied sea eagle, the silent sovereign of the skies. With a wingspan that can reach over 2 meters, 6.5 feet, this majestic raptor is one of the largest birds of prey on the continent. Its white chest and underwings gleam against the sky, while dark gray back feathers blend with the forested horizon. It is a symbol of power, both feared and revered by those who share its domain. But beauty is only the surface. Beneath its regal appearance lies a lethal combination of precision, strength, and focus. From above, the sea eagle's extraordinary vision allows it to track even the slightest movement in the water below. Fish darting beneath the surface, waterbirds stirring in the reeds, or even a monitor lizard basking on a riverbank. Nothing escapes its gaze. Its eyes are so sharp they can detect prey from more than a kilometer away. Gliding in slow, deliberate circles, the eagle locks onto a target: a large fish swimming just beneath the surface. With a sudden tilt of its wings, it begins its descent. No flapping, no sound, just a quiet, controlled fall through the air. Then, in a flash, talons extended like grappling hooks, the sea eagle strikes the water with pinpoint accuracy. Splash! The fish is seized and lifted from the shallows in a single fluid motion. The eagle's strong legs absorb the impact as it climbs again, wings beating powerfully against gravity. A flawless hunt, a textbook kill. But even a master hunter is not immune to misjudgment. Invasive species have begun to alter the rules of this ancient game. Among the fish that now populate these waterways is a deadly intruder: the cane toad, a highly toxic amphibian introduced from Central and South America. For the uninitiated predator, one bite is fatal. The toxins, secreted through the skin, attack the nervous system and can stop a heart in minutes. Some sea eagles have learned to avoid them. Others, especially younger or inexperienced individuals, may not be so lucky. Nature is a lifelong education, and even the apex must adapt. The white-bellied sea eagle is more than a hunter. It is a keystone predator, helping regulate fish and bird populations, maintaining ecological balance across coastal and inland wetland systems. Its presence is a sign of ecosystem health. But with shifting climates, rising sea levels, and the growing spread of invasive species, even this airborne monarch faces an uncertain future. For now, the eagle climbs higher, its catch clutched tightly beneath it. From this vantage point, it can see everything: the shimmer of fish schools, the ripple of crocodiles, the slow stirrings of dragons below. But even rulers must look carefully, because in the wild, every choice has a cost. Toxic invader, cane toad. It was meant to be a solution. In the 1930s, the cane toad was introduced to Australia with good intentions to control beetles ravaging sugarcane crops. But what followed was one of the most catastrophic biological invasions in history. The cane toad multiplied beyond control, thriving in environments its predators could not follow. It now numbers in the hundreds of millions, spreading across the continent at an unstoppable pace. But its true danger lies not in its numbers, but in its toxic chemistry. Its back is laced with parotoid glands, large, bulbous sacs that secrete a potent milky toxin, a cocktail of cardiotoxins and hallucinogens strong enough to kill a crocodile or a dog within minutes. For many native predators, one bite is the last mistake they'll ever make. Most have learned to avoid it, but not all. A native keelback snake slithers through the undergrowth. Unlike most reptiles, it shows a rare genetic tolerance to the toad's deadly secretions, enough to survive, but not without risk. It sizes up a juvenile toad, small and less toxic. The snake strikes, swallows, and slithers on, unharmed. Then it encounters a larger toad, its body swollen, glands visibly pulsing. The snake hesitates. It sniffs, considers, and wisely, it retreats. Here, knowledge is survival, and even a partial resistance is not a license for recklessness. In a land transformed by invaders, instinct alone is no longer enough. Adaptation is mandatory. Tiny warriors, ants versus cane toad. The cane toad's greatest defense is also its fatal flaw: stillness. When threatened, the toad freezes, relying on its passive poison to do the killing. Against large predators, this works. But when the enemy is small, numerous, and coordinated, staying still becomes a death sentence. Enter the ants. In the dry season heat, native meat ants and Iridomyrmex colonies patrol the forest floor with unrelenting efficiency. They work in organized swarms, communicating through pheromones and precision movements. When a cane toad wanders into their territory, the alarm is instant. The ants surge forward, dozens at first, then hundreds. They clamp down with razor-sharp mandibles, crawling across the toad's legs, eyes, and soft underbelly. Others spray acidic secretions, corroding the skin, bypassing the glands that would normally repel attackers. The toad does what it always does. It freezes. It oozes toxin. But it's not enough. These ants aren't affected. They've evolved alongside other poisonous insects and amphibians. They know how to kill without tasting death. By morning, the invader is gone. All that remains are bones, a leathery husk, and one fewer toad in a land they were never meant to rule. Sometimes, It is not venom or size that wins the battle, but numbers, unity, and persistence. The Trickster. Portia spider. In the tangled stillness of a backwater grove, beneath a lattice of branches and webs, a drama of deception plays out in miniature, camouflaged among dead leaves and debris. A Portia spider, no larger than a fingernail, watches and waits. Its target? A far larger St. Andrew's cross spider, ruler of its orb-shaped web and a predator in its own right. But the Portia is no brute force hunter. It is a strategist, a creature of cunning and mimicry. It begins its approach slowly, moving in a jerky, wind-like rhythm that blends with the natural sway of the leaves. Then, it taps delicately on the silk threads of its rival's web, imitating the vibrations of a struggling insect. The larger spider reacts instinctively, drawn toward what it thinks is an easy meal, but it's walking straight into a trap. As the giant spider arrives, the Portia springs to life, launching a precise ambush, driving its fangs into the soft tissue beneath the legs. Venom flows. The larger spider convulses, paralyzed from the inside out. The Portia waits, then begins to feed, not by tearing or chewing, but by liquefying its victim from within, drinking the spider like soup from a bowl. In this world of web and wire, strength means nothing without strategy, and the smallest mind can still outwit the largest body. The patient predator. Freshwater crocodile. In the still tea-colored waters of Australia's interior rivers, something ancient waits, motionless, invisible, patient. Submerged just beneath the surface, eyes and nostrils breaking the waterline. The freshwater crocodile lurks in silence. Sleeker and smaller than its saltwater cousin, it lacks the brute bulk, but makes up for it with speed, agility, and perfect timing. This is a reptile engineered by evolution for a singular purpose: to strike when the moment is right. It does not chase. It does not tire. It waits. The freshwater crocodile is a master of ambush, preferring a sit-and-wait strategy that conserves energy and maximizes surprise. It hunts mostly by night, its hydrodynamic body gliding silently beneath the surface, waiting for a chance to strike. Fish, amphibians, water birds, even flying feeds, massive fruit bats that swoop low over water to drink, are all on the menu. As dusk falls, the air above the billabong begins to stir. A swarm of flying foxes, thousands strong, emerges from the forest canopy, black silhouettes streaking across the orange sky. Driven by thirst, they descend toward the water. Their wings beat the air in rhythmic pulses. Their mouths open wide to skim the surface. But the crocodile is already in place. Suddenly, a violent explosion of water. A flash of scales, a thunderclap of jaws. One bat disappears beneath the surface. Others scatter into the air, shrieking in panic. Some escape, some don't. The crocodile resurfaces minutes later, still again, its quarry gone. The ripples fade, the water returns to silence, and the predator resets, waiting once more. Australia's wetlands. A web of death. Australia's wetlands are not a single place, but a vast, ever-changing network of ecosystems. From mist-laced alpine streams to mosquito-thick coastal swamps, from scorched inland pools to brackish estuaries teeming with life. Each one unique, each one deadly. These waters do not offer peace. They offer opportunity. Here, every predator is a specialist, evolved through millennia of trial and error to master a particular kind of kill. Some, like the tiger snake, rely on venom, a biochemical assault that paralyzes and bleeds its prey from within. Others, like the water python, kill with pure muscle, squeezing the life from their quarry in total silence. The Archerfish uses physics to shoot prey from the air. The Portia spider relies on deception and mimicry to outwit larger rivals. Even the lowly ant overwhelms with numbers, acid, and coordinated attack. From the air, the white-bellied sea eagle reigns supreme. Yet, even it must learn to recognize toxins hidden behind familiar forms, like the deadly cane toad. And lurking beneath the surface, the freshwater crocodile waits, timeless, tireless, and terrifyingly efficient. Every movement here costs energy. Every mistake costs lives. This is a place where strength means little without strategy, and where survival favors the focused, the adaptive, and the relentless. Australia's wetlands are more than habitats. They are arenas. And in this mosaic of style, tidal waters, and sudden death, the rules are simple: eat or be eaten. In Australia's wetlands, survival is a symphony of strength, strategy, and split-second decisions. Every creature is locked in a delicate balance. Hunter and hunted, predator and prey. And every ripple tells a story of adaptation, resilience, and the primal dance of life and death. Thank you for exploring this hidden world with us. If you enjoyed the journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. The Strong for more epic wildlife stories from Earth's wildest frontiers. Until next time, stay curious and stay wild.